Breaking news. Stop whatever you're doing right now because the streets of hip-hop just cracked open like a cheap iPhone screen. And what came spilling out is messier than a love and hip-hop reunion with free Hennessy at the door. Jim Jones, Mr. We Fly High, the Dipset General, Harlem's own legend, is allegedly not flying anywhere tonight. He's grounded, devastated, and possibly curled up in a corner, whispering, bowing through tears after discovering the kind of betrayal that makes daytime talk shows look like kindergarten nap time. And no, this isn't just some tabloid rumor about a back contract or a side chick with screenshots. This is bigger, uglier, juicier. Word on the chaotic internet streets is that Chrissy, yes, Chrissy Lampkin, the woman who's been by Jim's side for decades, the same woman who literally got down on one knee on national TV to propose to him, has allegedly been hiding something so wild it makes Maury Povich's You Are Not the Father look like an opening act, a secret child. Yep, you heard me. A whole baby, hidden for years. So the question everyone's asking right now, how did Harlem's self-proclaimed hustler king miss a secret this big? And more importantly, what happens next? Stick around, because the story is about to blow your mind. Jim Jones has faced beefs, label wars, industry politics, and more shade than a solar eclipse. But nothing could have prepared him for this, because what started as whispers on messy blogs has now erupted into a full-blown spectacle, shaking Harlem to its core and dragging Chrissy Lampkin into the kind of spotlight that no publicist could ever spin into something positive. For decades, fans have watched Jim and Chrissy on reality television, surviving drama that would have destroyed most couples. From proposals that became viral moments to fights that made primetime ratings soar, they were the couple that refused to break. Yet the story now unfolding paints an image not of resilience but of betrayal. And the alleged secret child is being described as the ultimate bombshell. Imagine being Jim Jones, Harlem legend, Dipset General, believing your ride or die had always been loyal, only to be blindsided in a courtroom by whispers of hidden text messages, mysterious bank records, and a paternity report that nobody saw coming. Sources describe the moment like a movie scene. Jim sitting in disbelief as evidence was waved before him while the crowd gasped. Social media exploded, and even Cameron, his longtime brother and Ryan turned occasional frenemy, walked in with a grin that said chaos was his favorite sport. Reports claim that Chrissy had been in contact years ago with a man referred to only as Mr. X, that their connection allegedly led to a child, and that this secret was buried so deep even producers of Love and Hip Hop had no clue. When word leaked, the internet did what the internet does best, turning the scandal into a circus with memes, hashtags, TikTok theories, and think pieces popping up faster than Jim could unfollow Chrissy on Instagram. One viral tweet captured the mood perfectly, saying Jim Jones finding out about Chrissy's secret child is a hip-hop plot twist we never knew we needed. And suddenly everybody wanted to play detective, pulling old clips, dissecting Chrissy's social media gaps, even comparing baby photos of supposed relatives to build a conspiracy case. Witnesses claimed the courtroom felt more like the BET Awards, gasps echoing every few minutes, reporters scribbling furiously, and Jim removing his designer shades, as if hoping maybe this nightmare would disappear if he closed his eyes long enough. But the nightmare only deepened when alleged text messages were read aloud, containing lines like "he can't, no not yet," sending shockwaves through the room and sparking millions of TikTok reaction videos. According to insiders, the texts were accompanied by suspicious bank records, showing large sums transferred monthly into a private trust. The prosecution claiming these payments were connected to the child Chrissy had kept secret, while the defense scrambled to argue it was nothing more than charitable donations. The arguments barely mattered because the court of public opinion had already delivered its verdict, with hashtags like ChrissyXbist and WeCry trending worldwide. To make matters worse, a former friend of Chrissy's under Jane Doe status testified that Chrissy once admitted she had no intention of ever telling Jim, fearing the truth would ruin everything from their relationship to their reality TV brand. If true, that statement alone shattered the illusion of loyalty that fans had built around the couple for years. Jim reportedly sat motionless, staring straight ahead, a man who had built his persona on loyalty and realness now facing the cruelest contradiction. Outside the courthouse, chaos reigned as reporters jostled. Fans screamed and bloggers live-streamed, declaring this a scandal of the decade. Social media detectives claimed the timeline matched perfectly with gaps in Chrissy's public life, while skeptics argue this was all exaggerated gossip fueled by petty rivals. Still, the silence from Chrissy herself only deepened suspicion, because in a game of public scandal, saying nothing often says too much. Jim's absence from public appearances fueled even more speculation, with fans posting side-by-side pictures of him from years ago versus now, with captions claiming he had aged overnight under the weight of betrayal. and looming over it all was Cameron, strutting in pink like a grim reaper of Harlem drama, posting cryptic captions, sipping tea on live streams, and dropping hints that he had receipts nobody else dared to reveal. As day one of testimony closed, the judge slammed the gavel, declaring proceedings adjourned until tomorrow. But the damage was already done. Dipset's reputation rattled, Jim's legacy cracked, and Chrissy cast as a central figure in hip-hop's messiest scandal yet. The morning after the first shocking testimonies, the courthouse turned into a circus that could rival any reality show finale, with crowds gathering before sunrise, waving signs, chanting, and holding phones high to capture every possible glimpse of Jim Jones, who arrived hidden beneath a hoodie surrounded by his legal team with a face that carried exhaustion and disbelief, while Chrissy remained nowhere to be seen, leaving speculation to run wild and fuel the gossip machine even further. Inside the courtroom, the atmosphere was tense and buzzing like a live concert crowd, waiting for the headliner, and when the judge entered and reminded everyone to stay calm, it was almost laughable because everyone knew the drama was about to escalate. The prosecution came armed with new so-called evidence that had the gallery gasping once again, beginning with more text messages allegedly exchanged between Chrissy and the mysterious X messages that hinted at private meetings, secret promises, and the infamous line that had already gone viral across social media, "He can't know not yet," which the prosecution claimed referred directly to Jim. The tension only thickened when bank documents were projected showing repeated payments linked to a private trust in the name of a minor, which they alleged was a secret child Chrissy had been supporting all along, while the defense struggled to argue that it was nothing more than family assistance and charitable obligations. But the real explosion came when Jane Doe, the former friend of Chrissy, returned to testify further under protection, insisting Chrissy had once broken down to her in private, confessing she could never reveal the truth because it would ruin not just her relationship, but her public image as a loyal partner who endured every storm with Jim. According to this testimony, Chrissy calculated that the risk of exposure would collapse their reality television deals, endorsements, and even the very narrative that made them household names, and in that moment the gallery realized this was no ordinary scandal, but a complete dismantling of the image that Jim and Chrissy had crafted. For over 2 decades, Jim himself sat frozen, eyes locked forward, as if the weight of Harlem's judgment bore down on him in real time, while Cameron, who had shown up in another outrageous pink outfit, leaned back in his seat with a smirk, enjoying the downfall of his longtime associate turned rival, because if anyone knew how to turn a mess into entertainment, it was him. Outside, the world reacted instantly, with TikTok detectives stitching old clips from Love and hip-hop to create timelines, cross-examining gaps in Chrissy's social media activity, and even comparing features between X and photos of the alleged child to prove a resemblance, while Twitter turned into a battleground of memes, with one viral post editing Jim's iconic video into "We cry high instead of we fly high." The public began questioning how Jim could have missed something so monumental when Cameron's fans and haters had followed him for years, and whether this meant his entire brand built on loyalty and authenticity was nothing but a carefully packaged illusion. By the end of the second day, as a judge once again called the court into recess, the media outside exploded with predictions that X himself might soon testify, throwing gasoline onto an already raging inferno and leaving Jim's career, reputation, and personal life hanging by a thread, while the world waited for the next chapter in the most scandalous saga hip-hop had seen in years. So here we are, standing at the edge of a scandal so outrageous that it feels less like hip-hop history and more like the plot twist of a streaming drama that you binge in one night and then spend weeks trying to process. And if everything we have just unpacked is even halfway true, then Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin are no longer just a couple in trouble. They are the center of a cultural earthquake, shaking the very foundation of loyalty, love, and reputation in the game. But the real question is, what do you think? Because scandals like this are not just about the people involved, they are about us, the audience, of fans, as spectators, who turn betrayal into trending topics and secrets into headlines. Do you believe Chrissy really hit a child all these years, or is this just another elaborate smokescreen designed to keep us talking while the truth remains buried? Could this be the end of Jim and Chrissy's empire, or just another messy chapter in a saga that refuses to die? Drop your thoughts below and let the world know, because your comments are the fuel that keeps this investigation alive. Like, share, and subscribe if you dare, because the truth is only getting darker.